Breathing in, breathing out. We're going to open the circle, knowing that we are safe, knowing that we are loved. I want you to start giving love to the people on your left and receiving love on your right, and including all the people that you love, you care for, and also not forgetting people who has trespasses with you. We're going to create this beautiful vortex of love, expanding this energy from your body to the space that you're in, expanding the energy outside of Earth into the solar system, into space, expanding the energy to the galaxy, sending love, receiving love. As we pause to send love from our right, receiving love on our left. Similar, we're going to include everybody in this circle. Don't forget Maybelline and all those people who couldn't join us here today, people we love, people we care for, and people who has trespasses with us, sending love outside of the room they are in, outside of the space you're in, outside of Earth, into the solar system, expanding, 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 sending love throughout the galaxy, interdimensionally, intergalaxy. I now invite all the folks and all the beings who like to join us in this session together with Thoth on ancient civilization of Egypt, part 2. I now declare the circle open. Yay! How's everybody feeling? Good? Okay, so today we are at part 2. So I hoped after the part 1 it was a bit fun for you. So for part 2, the way Thoth likes to conduct his class is that he always like Q&A. So I'm really glad that you have sent through some questions. And so Marit, even though you missed the first one, Wilson also missed the first one, it's okay. You can just simply catch up really easily. So Crystal, just going to invite you to start inviting the guardian of the course to join us today. And while she's doing that, I've got a quick announcement to share with you all. Due to all of you being the early birds for the ancient civilization class, I will extend the Atlantis class free for all of you as well. I hope you all like that. Aphrodite came through to share how she's going to be sharing some stuff about Atlantis, because Aphrodite was there. And so this Sunday, there will be a free talk with Aphrodite, and I'll share that with you all. So she's quite interesting. The first thing she said she wants to share about is actually about sex. It's actually a taboo topic, and she felt that we have so much misunderstanding about sex in this life, on this earth plane, that she really wants to clarify that. So hopefully you all could join us on Sunday for the free talk, and also for Atlantis, that you can be there too. Yeah?
Anubis.
Anubis, thank you for being here.
Hello.
Hi, Anubis. Could you share a little about who you are for people who are not familiar with Egypt?
I'm the one in charge when people die and all the burials and all that. So I'm the one that will help them to cross to the other side. Burial preparations on earth before they go over to the afterlife.
Is it a big administration?
Well, yes. I guess humans like to connect to something physical. It's like when you see it, you believe it. You hear it, you might not. So, this was created for them to see and understand how precious your life is on earth. That's all. It is a ceremony to celebrate your life on earth.
Could you share a little? How was the ceremony conducted?
Well, many of you already know about mummification, so I don't think I need to go into details about that. While we remove all the organs, as you know as well, your human body would rot. It would smell. That would be highly unpleasant. And so we take out the organs that is important, right? Like the heart, the brain, the mind. And we keep them in jars, as some of you might know. Now, it is only a symbol. That is all. It is a reminder for me to share with you how precious, when you are on earth, your mind and your heart is very important to keep them in alignment. So the burial process after that, well, yes, keeping the body in the tomb. And that is it, to be in remembrance, for the loved ones to remember. That is it.
Why is it important that the loved ones remember?
Well, if you have lived a happy life and you have touched many lives, then it is worth remembering, is it not? As I say, humans somehow like to remember when they can see something physically that is still there. But it's important not to be so attached though to the physical. But it was how it was in the past.
So, Anubis, do you guide them to the other side? And how do you do that?
When the soul leaves the body, then my job actually is more on the physical, what to do with the physical body. And it is passed on. So they are asked to leave the body and move on to the underworld or the other side. I don't do that part.
Who does that part?
Osiris. Osiris is the god in charge of the other side.
There is the story of how Osiris was chopped up and Isis went to find all the parts of him and you helped.
Yeah, that is that story. It is a story. Whether it's true or not, now, let's say human beings like to have stories. That is not important. We all have a role to play. So my role is to make sure the physical body, what is need to be done is done. And then I pass it on to Osiris to do the rest.
Right. How does Osiris do his work?
He will bring the souls, sometimes it's more than one, to the other side. He will ask them, actually, there's questions that he will ask. So, like, how did you find your life? Were you happy with your life that you lived? Things like that.
And what happens after they ask and answer the questions?
It's just to understand, that's all. And to record, that is all. We do not judge what they think is right or not right, or should not. But what is important is they cannot stay in the physical plane here. They have to go. So helping them or asking them questions is also allowing them to release whatever things that they might regret or want to hold on to in the physical world. So we need to make sure to encourage them, I would say, to let it go so that they can move on to the other side.
And what happens when they go to the other side?
Well, they can take a break or they can choose their next assignment or their next life.
Is it painful to leave the physical body?
No, it is not. It is a natural process.
Thank you, Anubis. Were you there as a physical being,
I was.
and now you are worshipped as a god?
It doesn't matter to me. I was there to do what I needed to be done at that time. I do not mean to be reverent as a god. That is not important. But what I do want to share with you is that love your life and enjoy it. Do not be attached to physical things, because some souls find it hard to live because of that attachment to something physical. It could be a person or a thing. So that is my advice, because when it's time to go, it is time to go.
What about people choosing to leave before their time is up?
Yes, that does happen. But that is not advice, because they always regret that decision. But once the soul has left the body, it is difficult to get back in. Then they just have to move on to the other side.
Is there a predestined time that they can stay on Earth?
We do not advise them to stay. Once they have left their physical body, their light wants to move on and needs to move on, because the energy in the earth plane is different. You are in a physical body that allows you to be grounded, to walk on earth. So being a soul bobbling about here on earth is not advisable. They will feel and sense loss because there is no form. We do not advise that.
What about if they choose to assign to be in Egypt at that time or on Earth? is there a limit to the life? Is there such thing like we are only to live 10 years, 50 years, 60 years? Is there such kind of direction?
It is the choice that they made, how long they want to live, and also how well they have taken care of their human body. It is their choice. We do not decide that for them.
There's other questions from the students here about Egyptians wanting to immortalize their royalty. Were they different from the other humans?
No, they are also human. However, some of the royals have a deeper connection with the source and the gods, you can say. Just like all of you here, you all have a deeper connection as well. So, can I say you are also gods and goddesses in your own right?
I think so. Yeah, we all agree. Was there any human sacrifice in ancient Egypt?
There is no human sacrifice. We are all equal, and as I say, we treasure life that is given to us. That is that is taught. You treasure your life. It is worth more than gold and silver. So whatever role that you do, just do your best. That is all.
When we were in Egypt, we were told that there was a very strict imperial system. Different classes. There were slaves from Africa, slaves from Greece. How does that happen when everybody is equal in Egypt?
Egypt started equal at the beginning. That was how it was meant to be. Now years and years passed and things began to change. Because humans like to control and be in control. And just by giving a little bit more control from one to another makes them think that they own the life of another. That is what has become of the last years of Egypt and its downfall. So yes, it did not start with that intention, but it did end that way with caste and hierarchy. Now, I would not say slaves means in your context, I don't know. But slaves does not mean we torture them. That is not our way. Perhaps they had to work harder for their food, to provide for their family. But we embrace anyone that comes to Egypt. We do not push anyone away.
There was the story of Moses and the Hebrews being killed and being hunted. Can you give us more insights to that? How real that story was? And
I am not aware of that story.
that
We
was
do
in the
not
Bible.
hunt and kill. That is not our way. We are a civilization that embraces anyone that wishes to join and join this great country that we have built.
Could you tell us a bit more story of Moses when he was found by the princess?
As a child, as I say, when people come, no matter how big or small you are, we embrace you with love and acceptance. So that is it. And you earn your place as someone useful or as a hero or how you want to call it, you earn that. That's why I said everyone does their role to give their best. And then you will be placed accordingly, like how you do in your workplace. If you work hard, you can go upwards, right? That is how it became as such. It's not saying one is better than the other. It's just humans. Some would like to work harder, some less. But I do not judge that. All I judge and I care is when they pass on to the other side, that they are ready to go and they have felt they have lived the best life that they have had.
Could you give us some insights to why was the Red Sea parted?
The Red Sea story. It is to save lives, isn't it? As I say, we treasure life. Life is so precious. If we can save, we will save.
Why did Moses need to part the Red Sea?
They say to cross over to the other side.
But he was running away from being killed.
Yeah, so he needed to cross over the other side. And that was the only way through. So he was being helped.
I guess you don't want to answer who was trying to kill Moses?
No.
Thank you. Could you give us some insight to how was the pyramid built?
Just like how you would build buildings. Rock by rock. We had the technology to carry the rocks. There's a way, you know.
Can you share?
There is a way to pull the rocks. Because it is hard, it is difficult because of friction. So we damp the front part of the rock. So when it's soft, like wet, it becomes slippery. That's how we can build block by block. It takes a lot of people to build a pyramid and a very, very long time.
It was massive engineering with a lot of accuracy.
Yes.
Was there a lot of scientists and engineers?
Yes.
Where did they get the technology from?
Why, we are very smart civilization. Do not look down on us.
Oh, we don't look down on you. We're just wondering if there were help from aliens, from Sirius or from Pleiades. Was there an extraterrestrial who came to support and help the Egypt civilization?
When you build a building today, do you ask the aliens?
No.
Yeah. So we know. We know what we need to do. We do not need to ask the aliens. But as you know, we are all connected to the source. Wisdom comes from the source. If you want wisdom to know how to build, you also have to learn. And so are the people. We had to learn and start from somewhere. So we learn over time how to build and become a great nation.
Thank you, Anubis. You have been very insightful and cleared a lot of doubt for many of us here in the class. Really grateful for you being so honest and candid with your answers.
You're welcome.
We're just giving Crystal a short break. How are you doing? Was it interesting? Yeah? So there were other questions in the chat room about manifestation and all that asked by Andrea. I didn't think that was suitable for Anubis, so I will wait for somebody else to come through to ask those questions. But in the meantime, if any of you have other questions that you'd like to ask, please feel free to ask them. Do you have any questions based on what Anubis came to share? Crystal, do you want to share how you see Anubis when he came to talk to you or talk to us?
I didn't see it, there's more sense, and he was just telling me, like, I was like, who? He's like, Anubis. I'm like, what? I have no idea who you are and what you do. No, yeah, so, but that's how it is, and like I shared before, maybe with some of you, you know, it's just being open to whoever that just wants to come through. And even though I have zero idea, zero background, but allowing the being to just come through and just speak whatever it is, that's just how it is. Yeah, so I have no idea, really.
There was homework for King Tut last week. Did you do your homework? So what was King Tut's animal from the underworld? Anubis? Anubis is a dog. That was King Tut? Yep. Okay, I don't think so. But you probably need to do your homework again.
What did he say?
He thought it was Anubis.
Oh, Anubis not. Well, you mean the animal? Interesting.
Yeah, we don't know because we didn't do your homework. Okay, Margaret, what you missed last week was there were some interesting insights to who you were in Egypt at the time, and then what was our animals. Because in Egypt, as you can see, Anubis will wear a headgear that looks like a dog, right? And then Thoth
like a dog.
will come as a bird or hawk. And then there's, like Hathor will come forth like a cow. And then Sekhmet will come like a lion or a tiger, more like a lion.
Lion. Right?
Yep. So each and
Lioness.
everybody have a animal manifestation when they were living in Egypt. So Thoth was then giving each and every one of us some analysis of what we were before. Like Andrea was the ram, right? And then, so you need to listen to the recording that I shared with you because they also called you out to know who you are when you were there. Yeah? Okay. When we give Crystal a little break, I'm just going to put you all in the violet ray grid and then give you all some healing through the violet ray grid, okay? So close your eyes. And I want you all to imagine that you're walking through the Metatron cube. If you don't know, it's fine. Just trust that you are in the space of the Metatron cube. Because when you're there, we are elevating everybody's vibration so that your consciousness are elevated so that when the classes and the lessons come through, you'll be able to grasp as much as you can. As you're walking through to arrive at the violet ray grid, today especially I'm going to put you in the pyramids. As above, so below, so you have to imagine the pyramids to be one upright and one mirror image at the bottom, and we are all sitting in a circle in the pyramid of the violet ray grid. As you enter into this space, your vibration will be elevated, your consciousness expanded. And I'm going to do some quick attunement for all of you. Kasharta nikatisiorta, ekataimitiata, kasarta tikatisiyoto, sisioto, sisioto. This is to expand your heart. Kashakatihiata nikatahiata. Kashkutuhurta nikatasiata nikatahiata titiarta tatashkutumioto. Ipakaharta nikatasiata hiatimiata. Barta tikasiyoto. Putting inside of you the violet ray flame. Breathing in, breathing out. Expanding your awareness, knowing that you are one with everybody. You are one with Source. Beautiful. Well done. I'm just going to ask Crystal how you're feeling today, right now. And who are we bringing forth again?
Isis.
Isis likes to come through. Hi, Isis. Good to see you again.
Hello. Hello.
Hi. Need to be a bit louder.
Yes.
Last week you came to share with us something about sacred sexuality.
Yes.
And healing in Egypt. What would you like to share with us today?
I sense many of you still need healing in the area of your heart.
Yeah.
About loving yourself. That is much needed. So I've come again as a request from Thoth to give all of y'all the healing of your heart.
Are you going to do it now?
Yes.
Okay. Let us know. Lead us there.
Now I want you to imagine your heart sitting gently in the middle of the blue lotus. The blue lotus is there to not only fragrant your heart, but also keep it protected in like a soft pillow bed, because I sense a lot of you are very hard on your heart. But to love is to let go, to allow the fragrance to come forth. So can you imagine now? Breathe in the essence. Breathe out love. Breathe in the fragrance. Breathe out love. Breathe in one more time. You are loved, so very loved, and that's why you can give more love
Thank you, Isis. That's beautiful. You're right. A lot of them here are very hard on themselves, especially when it comes to the matters of love.
Yes. I see some have questions.
Yes, one of the questions was if during healing there was psychedelic used in Egypt. Did you hear my question, Isis?
No.
Sorry, was there psychedelic used for healing in Egypt time? Or did they use...
Symbols?
No, psychedelics. Sorry, drugs for hallucination. That's what they say Blue Lotus do.
Well, you can say it, I would not call it a drug. When you smell the fragrance of a flower or a plant, do you feel that you're in drugs?
Not really.
Yeah, so no. It is just a beautiful fragrance of what nature gives to us. And it keeps us relaxed. Or we feel, if you smell something sweet, you think sweet, and then you feel sweet. That is just all. We use senses and essence for that purpose. Just to open up the mind. Because humans like to connect with something. They must connect with something, especially their 5 senses. So the sense of smell is strong. When they smell something, then they feel connected to it. And it helps in the healing process. That is all.
Was everybody trained to be able to heal using different herbs and perfumes and sound?
Not everybody. Only those who wish to learn.
Could you share what was the purpose of the temples?
The temple is just a place for gathering, just like any building. It shelters you from outside the sun, the rain, noise. It's just a more quiet place. It's like a little sanctuary. If you have a little room, you can create a sanctuary in that room with the space. That is all.
So it wasn't really a place of worship?
Yes, certain places are used to worship. Like I said, it is a place of gathering. So people coming together. And we love people. We love gathering. We love to enjoy and have party and be merry. We like that. So that is all. So there is a place for people to go and come together. And when this finished, they go back to their homes.
Thank you for sharing that. Were the temples built when you were alive, or were they built after you left Egypt?
Yes, there were some temples built when I was there. But I never really left Egypt. My physical body might not be there, but that doesn't mean I wasn't there. When I'm being called upon, I shall come. Some who wish to see me are able to see. Some don't.
What Egypt is today is very different to what Egypt was when you were there.
Yes, it is very different.
I'm not too sure if a lot of Egyptians call upon you.
Actually, the women do. They call upon me when they want to talk about things or understand about love, about the heart. When they're heartbroken, they come look for me. And I'm there to comfort them with my love. I love every child on this earth. Every being deserves to feel loved and be loved, and to be reminded that they are loved inside of them.
There were many references to you, Sekhmet, and Hathor in Egypt. Could you share how three of you work together, and maybe Mu as well?
Everyone has their roles. So Hathor is in charge of agriculture. That is her role. I am more into the healing and mother love for the people. Sekhmet, she is strong like a warrior. She gives strength to those women who are what some say in this life as masculine. But we have all masculine and feminine energy. So some women choose to do things. Not all women will want to wear flowers, Some might prefer to wear an armor. And there is nothing wrong with that, if this is what they choose.
So when Thoth wanted to do this class, he wanted us to learn from what happened in Egypt and what brought the downfall of Egypt. Could you share that a little so that we can learn from there?
I will let him come true to share.
Okay. How are you doing, Crystal?
Okay.
Good. Do you need a break and take a drink? Okay.
Hello?
Hi, Thoth. Thank you for bringing your friends through. They were quite knowledgeable and interesting.
Yes. We all were together. Now you wish to know the downfall of Egypt.
Yes.
Like what Anubis shared earlier, as I was watching at the side. Egypt was meant to be fair. Everyone just had their roles to play, as I said. No hierarchy and whatsoever. But things change over the years. Humans become greedy and want to be in control, to have power, to have more and more and more, when they don't need so much. So it became that taking more than giving. Then there is an imbalance. The nature that is the world is not meant to just only take. It is meant to take and give. That is the balance. So when too much is taken at one side and there is not the same equal giving out, what will happen?
Imbalance.
And what happens when something is not balanced?
It tip over.
And fall. So that is the great lesson I want to share. It might seem simple, but remember, whatever you take And take does not mean it's only in the form of physical. It can be energy as well. You take too much. You cannot take too much. You only take what is needed, and the rest is to share and give. And that's why I believe in the collective energy coming together, because not one person takes 100 or 1000% perhaps. Everyone can take 100, 100, 100, 100, yes. Not one person takes 500. That is too much to take. And when you take too much, you will think that you are greater than the person next to you. That is one of the other downfall of Egypt. Everyone is equal. Everyone should be respected as equal. Whether you are a man or a woman, male, female, animals or humans or plants, all needs to be respected. When it is not and there is imbalance, then that is when the downfall happens. So now in your life, remember, do not take extra that what is not yours. Take what is needed, but learn to give as well in exchange. It is an exchange of energy, an exchange of gifts. So when you are a collective, I feel as a collective, the chances of one person taking more extra is being reduced, you see. That is my strategy for a lesson to learn. When you come together as a group, then you work together as a team. And then everyone has their role to play. And you do your best. And everyone also benefits because collective energy is a lot stronger than an individual. Are you clear?
Yes, I am. But I like your perspective on the world politics today, because what you talk about as concised and limited to just one country like Egypt, right now, the downfall is actually experienced throughout the world. And how can we as a collective change that mindset and that mentality?
One person at a time. That is how you can do. One person at a time. Wherever you are right now, have that mind. There is no one but all. Everyone is connected. So as you share and spread, that is how it will be. Share and spread. When you are kind to a person, they will give back kindness to you. That is balance. So, same goes the other way. No, not the same goes the other way. What I mean is if someone is unkind to you, you do not need to give unkindness back because that is an exchange you do not want. You can walk away. You do not need to fight. That person will be dealt with his or her life. So it is important to protect yourself and to know how to protect yourself, to draw boundaries. If something you feel does not serve you, why do you entertain it? Do not need to. Let that go. You have other more important things to do. That is my advice as well.
I think you brought up a really good point, that there's a difference between exchanges versus give and take and balance. Could you emphasize a bit more what calls out as an exchange versus what is a give and take?
Exchange is a mutually agreed contract. When you both agree on something, then you exchange it 50-50. It is agreed. A gift is different. Perhaps you see someone that needs help. Then you gift the person a hand. And then that person must learn also to appreciate and give you a form of thanks. It does not mean it has to be in the form of a thing like money. It can only mean an exchange of energy, so a gratefulness is sufficient. So if someone extends a kind hand to you because perhaps they see that you need it, then in your own appreciation, you just thank the person. That is what I mean.
Thank you. There's a question that came through about giving and taking. So you talk about very often people take too much. What about when people give too much?
Yes. So when someone is taking too much means they're taking from someone who is giving too much. They cannot take from nothing. So if you are on that other side, that's what I mean by drawing boundaries, right? I said you must know how to draw boundaries. And if something is not serving you, you stop. Don't allow that. So you stop yourself from giving too much. You have to know your own capacity. No one can tell you that. You must know what you need, what you don't need, what you want, what you don't want. You must understand that.
Thank you. What about the times when we've been told and advised that we are born with abundance and that we have unlimited resource given to us through Source?
Yes, if you connect to Source. But how many of you do that? If you connect to Source, it is true, it is unlimited. But what I'm talking about is most people, when you use your own energy and your own strength, you will grow tired. But if you are always connected to the Source, then yes, you will be wise enough to know what to do. You will not have this issue then.
Thank you. That's very, very insightful. There's another question that came through that asks, how do you know if you're taking too much since you can justify your actions? And how do you suggest we connect to Source?
If you are already thinking about too much, it is too much. You would have already known and felt it. You would have felt it in your body. It will tell you. Your body is a beautiful vehicle, very advanced in technology. You should use it.
Do you have more suggestion? How do we use our advanced technology?
It's like a vessel. It's like a car. How would you take care of a car? If your car is nowadays advanced, right? Battery operated cars. If it's a battery operated car, would you use petrol?
No.
Would you feed it petrol? No. So you must know what you need to feed that what your body needs. Some of you might be driving a petrol car. Some might be a battery car. Some might be both. hybrid. So you must know, what vehicle are you? Some are a bigger kind of vehicle, some are smaller. So you must know as well yourself. Know yourself. That is what Isis was talking about. Loving yourself. When you know yourself, you also know how to love yourself. And then you will not have all these problems or issues about how much to give, how much to take, how much to receive, and so on. You will have a knowing.
What about those people who fear and come from much lack? How do they overcome that?
That's right. So then you fall back to what Isis was teaching about love, about self-love, your heart. Where is it? You need to do that and fix that first.
So would you say the foundation of fear comes from lack of love?
Yes. Lack of trust in your own self. Why do you need to fear? This is all an experience, and you chose this experience. If you fall, you get up. Maybe you would cry. That is your emotion that you choose. But you get up. You don't stay on the floor. You move. And that is the beauty of humanity. Can you see that? All of you are strong and resilient. You will all succeed in this life. All of you. No one fails the test. Unless you choose, as Anubis say, to leave before you're supposed to. Because that only means you will regret that decision. That is all. But there is no right or wrong, good or bad.
Thank you, Thoth. I'm going to suggest a short break for now, maybe 10 minutes, so that the vessel can rest.